Good morning. Good morning. Mic check. My voice is slowly coming back. You guys hear me? Good morning. Happy Monday. Got the coffee. I think we've got the correct screen and everything going. As soon as somebody says that they can hear me, I will go ahead and begin. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. Hey D, all right, cool. You can hear. Nice. Yeah, guys, I'm not sick, but for some reason my voice just went this weekend. But it's coming back slowly, and I'll just do what I can to get through the stream. May have to put your volume up to the highest because I can't speak powerfully. Let's go ahead and get started. It looks to me here on NQ this morning like we want to probably try and push up into this pocket here. Maybe go after these DMLs. Usually when you get these DMLs stacked like this, they kind of act like magnets. So I think the market's going to want to push. With that said, we know how erratic this market can be. So we'll kind of be on our toes. The daily is trending strongly to the upside. We did get that close above the DML on Friday. The true average and the envelope top are currently holding. So I'm going to be looking to buy pullbacks on the intraday chart. So if we go ahead and set up the intraday volume charts here on Sierra charts, and my developer is very, very close. He's just dealing with deployment issues with the server, but everything is built now. So now it's all about deploying it, and we're right there. So just stay a little more patient. Hey, Louie, I got your message, man. Thanks, dude. I'll send you a DM later. I appreciate it. Wow, Australia, that's late, huh? It's pretty late over there. I guess depending what coast you're on. Is it later on it's later on the Gold Coast, I guess, right? I lose track of Australia time zones. Um, so basically, what we're getting into here with the 50,000 chart is you can see we're kind of technically in congestion because you were trending up here, push down, suck back up, but we did close below the middle of the envelope. So we are in congestion. If you want to frame our congestion level, there's your trend resistance high. Here's your congestion support level. Here's how we frame this congestion. So based on the daily chart, guys, what we just went over, what are we expecting? Well, we're expecting probably congestion exit to the upside. So I'm going to be looking for, either an opportunity to try and get long, down in here somewhere, congestion support for a push back up, or if we really start to break out like this, then maybe we'll look for a pullback long over here on the 10,000 chart. Okay. So, hey Cam, good morning, man. Hope you had a good weekend with the baseball. And yeah, Cam, did you send me your times that you're available for the founders webinar this week? I think you may have. I don't know. I got to go catch up. But if you didn't, send that to me. Gluey, cool. Yeah, 11:15 Brisbane near Gold Coast. Oh, that's nice. Cool. So you're close to Aaron Trades. He's also in the Gold Coast. Okay, thanks, Cam. Appreciate it, man. No worries. And then what we're going to do is after the founders webinar, that's when we're going to start working on the first one-on-ones, start helping you guys get your specific trading plan. So Cam, I'll work with you on the reversal trading plan. I got to work with Ralph on his trading plan. Darren, we got to get ours going with you. So we'll get there, guys, with the trading plans. Yeah, so there's no real news on the docket today, but Christian Miyagi, he always keeps us updated on the news. So, which is great. Thank you, Christian, in Discord. So right now, I guess there's some sort of a White House press conference. Trump is just talking shit to everybody as usual. And yeah, I know he also came out and said that, he's going to take away income taxes for, lots of people because of the tariffs. I mean, guys, it's all over the map. I try not to pay too much attention to it. Basically, with the charts, I think the daily will be bullish, but we're still in crazy times. So let's be careful. But I'll start the day looking for longs here on Sierra chart. So the market's going to open in about 12 minutes. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll let everyone know we're live here in the Discord. Hopefully we didn't have conflicting morning, Adam. Good to see you, man. Hopefully we didn't have conflicting streams on YouTube today like we did on Friday morning. I don't think we did. YouTube seemed to work. Spain, Portugal, France had major power outages overnight, so we'll see if David can make it today. I'm not sure if he got affected by that. I'm going to trade my Tradeifys and either build them back up or blow them and reset them. So see how that goes. And yeah, guys, just to recap, April's coming to an end here soon, a few days and a couple days. And we'll see where these monthly bars are here. You see, we're waiting. Here's the Nasdaq. Here's the monthly chart in the middle, right? So we're just gonna, just see where this closes. It's gonna be very, very important to see where that closes. Right now, that's obviously a pretty big rescue off the lows back up to where we are now. And the fact that it's consolidated and pushing the congestion. I mean, I still think there's a lot of resistance up here, but we're just going to have to wait and see. This has not been an easy April for people. I did okay. I made money, but not as much as I usually do. But that's okay because I wasn't as aggressive. Starting early in the month I was, but when I realized it was going to be this kind of a month, I always tell myself if I don't understand what's going on, I don't push it. And that helps me a lot. I have no problem, letting the market just find its balance again and then trade from that position because I want to trade markets that are clear to me because that's what puts the probabilities on my side. And so hopefully we'll be getting into another period of clarity for May. I think we will. I think at least this kind of crazy turbulence here on the weekly chart, this should be, hopefully that's coming to an end. And right now looks bullish to me today. So if you guys got any questions, let me know. What's up, Miyagi? Thanks for posting the news. Appreciate it. So yeah, we'll be bullish today unless something changes. Looking for the 50,000, give us, some. It looks like we're pushing. We want to push up and through these highs now. So I may not even wait till the close here. If we get a big dump at the open on the 10,000, let's say sometimes they'll want to shake out overnight longs and do a dump like that. So, if we get one of these, depending where we are on the 50,000 chart, I may look for the reversal push back up, right? So let's see what we got for the open here in about 9 minutes. And that's the way we're going to run the stream now, guys, is I'm just going to take these trades and then, I'll tell you basically what playbook it was. Why did I take it based on what type of trading? And then at the end of each day in the archives in the Discord, it'll say, hey, on Nasdaq today, we made X number of points or we lost X number of points. I don't really feel like it's important to put like, oh, on Trade8, 5 accounts, I made $1,300 per account. So I made like $7,000. Like that's not really true, even though it kind of is, but you know what I mean? So we'll do points. That way everybody can calculate if they're using micros or whatever they're doing. And then I'll say, trade number 1 I took because, the type of trading on the higher time period. And also I came into the day with a bullish bias. So you guys, those of you who are here and you take in the course and you understand all this, you can always take screenshots of the setup, once I'm in a trade, and then you can kind of upload those to the trading chat, whatever you guys want to do, whatever helps you learn the best. Yeah, exactly. It's true. That's you, Andreas, right? Fast money. I got to remember everybody's. Yeah, okay. Good to see you, man. I got to remember everybody's Discord name, their real name, their YouTube name. Too many names, guys. um, so yeah, ticks, points and ticks is what matters. Nothing else matters. So yeah. And once we really get going, guys, I'm kind of toying with the idea of, instead of having, I'm still going to use prop firms, but I'm kind of at the point now where when I trade, I just like to have my money in my bank, my trading account by the end of the week. So I'm kind of just toying with the idea. I don't know if I'll do it, but I love to execute on my Sierra charts, right? So I'm kind of thinking about just putting a chunk of money into this brokerage account, and then I can execute right on the screen, real contracts. So then I can, drag my stop and my target on the Sierra charts. Because to be honest, that's one thing that's pretty unsettling. Like oftentimes I'll see a good trade that I like. I'm like, okay, I want to put my stop, just above the high or whatever. But then, I'm dealing with this freaking TradingView, over here. And I don't like trading from the chart and TradingView. You'll like right click, like, oh, I want to put or your left click, like, I want to put a stop just there, or whatever, but it's not quite the right place. And okay, it's just, I don't know. The Sierra charts for me, it's just way easier to execute. Yeah, exactly. And with Sierra charts, you can actually, trade your prop accounts. I don't know if you have Rhythmic, so, and you can copy trade on Sierra charts as well if you want. So yeah, but I might just do a brokerage account where, I put like 50K in here and just trade it. Then I can just show you guys how I execute on the Sierras. But we'll see. I'm toying with that. I'm also expanding my sort of what I'm doing. I'm looking to take a lot more overnight trades. That's where I made most of my profits in April, was just the overnight trades. And it's nice because those overnight trades on the different markets are there, pretty regularly. Still waiting for really good setups, but it's nice to combine. When I say overnight trades, guys, I mean, and by the way, I know I sound like RFK Jr. I apologize for that. My voice is, there's like, we surfed a lot. I don't know, there might be a bacteria in the water. It's happened before in LA, but it's coming back now slowly. So basically, those overnight trades based on the end of day analysis, when I see something that I really like now, I'm starting to put those on because it's a good opportunity to make money. And what I feel is like, when I know I've got that income coming in from those overnight trades, and those are pretty straightforward, like they're kind of set and forget. You got to manage them a little bit, but you just got to kind of get in where you want, set your target, put your stop, and that's it. When you make money overnight, and I'm not talking about day trading, and I'm talking about like, at Asia, you see something you like, you put it on, and it's like, it's going to do what it's going to do. If you got to go to bed like me, you go to bed. But when you make money in the overnight market, it's a lot easier to be patient day trading. I find that you trade better when you make money in the overnight market because like the monkey's off the back, like when you wake up, you're like, and they don't all win, guys, but you've seen my end of day calls. When I really, really, really like something, go back in the archives. I don't know what the hit rate is, but it's fucking high. And when it's high like that and you're making money most of the time on those calls, even if they only come once a week or something, like that's a nice base income, right? So you just feel better coming into the stream, if you know you got your base income covered, you don't feel the need to overtrade with the day trading. And I'm getting to a point in my own career where I'm gonna be here day trading with you guys because it's a good way for me to teach you and whatever. But I'm quickly getting to a point in my own life where I'm going to be doing a lot of swing trading because I want to do more surfing and less computer time. VolPro Edge, you can make a lot of money just waiting for those key overnight setups, right? Where you're in line with the weekly chart. And you can look at all the different markets, right? So if you want to look at the ags or whatever, but typically even just on the indices, gold, silver, crude, Bitcoin. I'm going to start trading a lot more Bitcoin because my Bitcoin calls have been just pretty fantastic. The overnight calls. So there's lots of different ways to use it, guys. All right, so we got about a minute left. I think this is going to be a choppy day, even though the daily is trying to push, but we still got a lot of these cross currents. So I'll be looking for longs early. It's a day where if I wasn't teaching you guys, I probably wouldn't trade today, but I'm still going to take trades because I want to teach and show you guys different setups. So just know if you're thinking about following my trades, it's not a day typically that I would be trading, but let's see what we can do. I think we're going to start the day bullish and we'll look for pullbacks. We got about, let's see, the clock is up here, guys. I don't know if you can see that, but you can check your latency. We got about 15 seconds, boom, until the open. So 10 seconds now, so you can check your latency. Oh yeah, Ralph, swing trading is not a bad way to go. Yeah, Gluey, algos on Sierra in the future. Yes, 100%, man. So the algos, 2 seconds, Darren. Okay, good. The algos on Sierra in the future to take care of, it's kind of giving you the best of both worlds for the overnight trades, but it'll monitor all day with the algos. That's where ultimately I want to go with everything. And then as members, I'll help you guys come up with your own algos. I'll give you ideas on how I'm using my algos. Like there's going to be just lots of cool stuff. But guys, the goal, let's be honest with ourselves. Why do we all come to trading? Because we want to make more money and work less. You don't come to trading because you want to, you make more money and work more, right? So that's what I'm looking to do. Yeah, like too much. It's the thing too, like so many people, and I'm watching this, guys. So if I'm not missing anything today. If I see anything I start stocking, I'm just gonna shut up and stock the trade. But right now I'm not looking to take the breakout, even though I do think today I'm leaning bullish, but I'm just not like looking for congestion exit right here on the 50,000. Even though I do think we could exit congestion, I would like to wait and see if we start to push and then just wait for a pullback on the 10,000. Because today I think you'd get a pullback on the 10,000 if we start to break out, because I don't think we're gonna have it's not like a squeeze day again. Those straight up and straight down days. I think it's just gonna be pretty darn choppy. So yeah, what I was going to say is that most people, like the failure rate in day trading is very, very high, right? And then I don't understand why people, especially if you've got like a huge time commitment with your job and your family and all this stuff, man, to day trade and do all that, I mean, just swing trade, it's so much easier. And you'll make more money because you make fewer mistakes. All right, so there's the 50,000 close. We're in congestion here, right? This is framing our range. Okay, now I'm not going to short here because I'm just slightly more bullish on the day right now, and that's just what I got to go by. That doesn't mean we won't dump, but I'm more looking to get long down into support on the 50,000. So, where would that be right now? Well, I mean, you can see right here, You've got the extension, congestion DMLs right at the envelope bottom. You know, that's at like 19.4, let's see, 19.460. So I'm going to watch the 10,000 now. And if I get a good signal to go long down into 19.460, even before the 50,000 closes, then I'll probably take that, right? Because I don't want to wait and then miss it because it gets bought up like this. You see, if you wait for the close sometimes. So let's see. So 19.460 right there. That's where we got all of our, 60, 65. So let's just, the 10,000 will tell us now if that's matching up, right? If the 10,000 confirms that level, but as you can see, we're already off to a fun start. Quick little 85-point dump. So this is how, like right here on the 50,000, guys, you've got the middle of the envelope. Yeah. You've got a crossover here. This VolPro reaction support sucked up higher than the high. Yeah, that's true. That's the point of control right there, the orange line, daily point of control. But would I buy that? No, I don't want to buy the middle of the envelope if we're in congestion, right? And I always want to go off my higher time period. So you don't have to use, the 50,000 and the 10,000 like I do. If you want to be more active, I mean, use the 20,000 chart as your higher time period, 20,000 volume, and use the 4,000 volume as your lower time period, right? You can do whatever you want. If you're in the minute charts, like Rafa, Scalper in Discord, he's killing it. Go check his charts. I think he uses like 5-minute charts. So, but whatever you're using, make sure that you use your higher time period as your sort of, like that's what I like to do for the types of trading. Try to use the lower time period to pick off spots where I like the higher time period. And then the question of the day really is, is this going to be one of these situations where, you're pushing overnight and then, you're in this pocket. It's true. That's why I'm like, okay, I think we're pushing higher. It looks pretty bullish. But on a day like today, it could also be one of these things that just reverses out of this pocket. And we have to be aware of that. So then we'll use the intraday charts to guide us. All right, so right now, the 10,000 is going for congestion entrance down, right? Because we're trending up, bang, congestion entrance down. You're holding all, but do I want to buy here? No, for the reason I already said. Now, look, it might just rip up. That's fine, but it's just not a spot where I want to buy. I'd rather wait for down in here. Does that make sense, guys? I think you're starting to slowly really understand, well, quickly understand how we're matching up the lower time period to the higher time period and how that will keep you out of a lot of trouble, right? Yeah, don't diddle for sure. Too many diddlers. Not going to be good for the results. I'm just going to refill my coffee, guys. So I'll be back in 1 minute. All right. We got the coffee refill. So my goal for today is just to try to get one or two good trades and see if we can't run the Tradeifys up a little bit and, you know, let this market continue to do its choppy thing. But, you know, I think on a day like today, especially, you've got the value area low of the day here, right? That's the value area low of the day. And, you know, it's when that's matching up with our congestion zone on the 50,000, you know, that's kind of the area where I would look, you know, anywhere from here, like I said, but I want to see if it holds down to here. And then if you're wrong, it's like, okay, well, if it is going to be one of these days where you get a congestion exit down because the pattern on the daily, you know, like, oh, we're going to go back. We're going to come out of this pocket and go back down to those lows from Friday. You know, if that's going to happen, then obviously we will not be correct buying here. So, but usually the lower time period, you know, it'll keep you out of that trouble. If you're not supposed to buy here, then oftentimes, you know, the lower time period DMLs will be breaking. So you'll see that it won't confirm. You know, sometimes you get false signals with anything, but a lot of the times the DMLs will keep you on the right side of the market. What do you guys think? What's your bias for today? Be curious to hear what you guys think is going on. Like I'm like a slight bullish bias, not super confident that I want to go crazy. Yeah, Gluey. Well, I mean, it really just on personal accounts, you know, you can hold overnight. So, you know, you can really catch nice weekly moves. But lately, when I say swing trading, I kind of just mean I don't really know how long the trade will stay open, but it's more just, you know, at the Asian Open, putting on a trade, setting a target, a stop, and just, you know, oftentimes that'll just happen overnight while I'm sleeping. So, and I don't take many of them. And I do tell everybody in my end of day analysis in the Discord, like on the days when I feel very confident about a particular market, like last week it was gold. You know, then I make it very clear that I like that market, like at the open, you know, the new open in Asia. But normal swing trading, yeah, I mean, you can swing for a week, a month. Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, even if you can check the charts all day, I mean, if you can make good money not checking the charts and living your life, you know, that's that's ideal. And guys, mentally day trading is much harder. I mean, because day trading is going to force the mistakes via the emotions and the mindset way more. The more time in front of the screen, man, the more that screen can take your head and jerk it around. So even with prop accounts, you know, you can take the end of day analysis and just be like, okay, well, my trade today on this prop account is, you know, I'm going to buy gold here, I'm going to target here, I'm going to stop. Like that's my trade. And next day, I'm going to take this trade. Next day, this trade. So like this little dump here, guys, on a day where I had more confidence in my daily directional bias, yeah, even though I am long bias, but not, you know, I'm aware that it could be choppy and we could reverse. But on a day where I felt really good about the long side, if we got that little dump there in the middle of the envelope, you know, I would more strongly consider it. But on a day like today, no. So let's see. Ralph, I was more bullish during London based on where we were and the structure. Now I want to pull back, consolidate period of that work. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Adam looks pretty choppy, but we have been pushing pretty strong. I was thinking just to keep the bullishness today. Yeah, I think that's probably that's kind of how I'm looking at it too. Probably want to push higher. I mean, look at these first. Obviously, we don't use candles, but look at these first, 5-minute candles. I mean, this is just it's funny. But for me, that's kind of important for the bullish picture here is start to really break through these highs, which we're kind of trying to do right now at 19.6. Then I think we could have some clear sailing up to these DMLs. That could be a place, that could be the journey to jump on if the 10,000 gives some sort of a pullback. Look at the other markets real quick. ES pushing, Dow pushing. So I think I said last night in the analysis, you had a nice flash pattern on the daily for bonds. So far that's, holding. Gold, I said, yeah, you got support down here, but I wasn't like, it wasn't like a gift like that trade, but it's holding so far. So let's see now if we are going to get a rip up to 750. Then the question, hopefully, if we do start to rip, we get a nice long up there. But then the question is, would I go short up into those DMLs? I suppose if the 50,000 gave a good signal up there, I'd consider it. So the 10,000 is going to close here. There's the close. It looks like the 10,000 is trying to exit congestion now again to the upside. So now it would be, I'll be looking for pullbacks, but I will wait for the close. You guys can ask any questions while we're waiting. So, I mean, at this point, many of you are taking the course and, you've been around VolPro Edge now for about a month. I mean, you're understanding now how the VolPro Edge side works. And now we're getting into that phase where as you start to hone in your understanding of the VolPro Edge, then it's okay, how do you want to tailor it to your life and your trading style and all that kind of stuff? Because you can use it in any way that you want. Like I could never do what Rafa's doing, scalper. He has a full-time job, I believe, and he's literally got his system now with VolPro Edge and his EMAs and stuff, and he's just doing it from his tablet at work, like in between. He just checks stuff. I'm more like I need to be dialed in. I can't have distractions. So you see, that's how we're all different, right? Like that works for him. That wouldn't work for me. And you guys will figure everything out that works for you. But one thing I would suggest is that I know how it is in the beginning because I was like this too a long time ago. Like we all want to get to making 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000 a month, like quick. You know, that's why we start trading, because we want to make a lot of money, right? But what you should try to do, and it's a hard thing to do, is, all right, so look, Trump probably just tweeted something, right? Is there any news at 9:50? You can just see a lot of volume came in here. So the best thing to do is say, hey, how can I structure this with my own life, whether it's swing trading, day trading, whatever it is? How can I just make, you know, a couple thousand or $1,000 a month profit, right? Because if you can do that for a couple months, then you get the confidence going. You can scale it up, you know, start making 2,000-3,000 a month. That's the way to get there, not go for that too soon. So are they trapping the longs here? Maybe. What, Darren, going for too much? Is that your problem? Pushing too hard, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think too, like with a schedule like yours, Darren, and Ralph, you know, with the kids, you guys like, and you got jobs and you're doing stuff. I mean, I would really focus on just finding good end of day setups based on my analysis. And you can take way more trades. I don't think when I'm like, it's a gift, that's, I just wait for those. But there's lots of pretty darn good trades, you know, most days. If you start working through your analysis, you know, you can just set your orders and just leave it and go live your life. It's not like, you know, more is better in terms of, you know, oh, day trading is going to lead to far superior results. In fact, I think day trading for most people will lead to far worse results, right? Yeah, exactly, Adam. Hey, you got to structure the trading plan first, get something you like, go small on that, and then as you're building and you kind of settle into what's working, then you start to scale, right? All right, so this is about to close here. You know, I'm just going to wait because I still, we're not technically trending yet here. I just don't have a feel right now with, like, if we start to get going, sure, I'll look for the pullbacks. But right now with this market, I don't know, it could dump all the way back down to these lows. And when I'm day trading, I'm just watching. I've learned to use VolPro Edge and also my own experience that, okay, do I understand what's happening right now? And when that answer is yes, I'm more aggressive trading. If the answer is no, I don't do a whole lot, right? So is this pullback here to go long? I mean, we're technically trending, but the reason I can't go long here on the 10,000, it could push, guys, but when you see we're right at, you know, that high, and this is framing congestion. I don't, we may break that, but I don't really want to go long into what could be resistance, right? So even though the 10,000 technically got into a trend run with 3 closes, I'm willing to say, hey, if it goes up without me, that's okay. I want to be patient right now. And you guys see, like, trying to stay out of trouble is the #1 goal in trading. Night, Louie. Thanks for being here, man. Cheers. Late there in Australia for sure. Yeah, exactly. Those are like, this is the tweet market, right? Where you just get these, the volume just comes in. So, I mean, you can already see it's been a pretty darn choppy start to the day. So the 50,000 is going to close here in about 7,000 contracts, and then the 10,000. So they'll close together now in 7,000 contracts. Yeah, it's very, very choppy and rangy. So I would say if the 50,000 gives a close down in here into this pocket, I might have to go long. We'll see. Yeah, I kind of felt, that's why I told you guys, I could see on the charts. I'm like, you know what? Friday's not going to be a good day to trade. Today's kind of like that. Maybe today's a little better than Friday, but you can just kind of see when it's a good time to trade and when it's not a good time to trade. And if you can recognize those days or weeks or whatever to not trade, it's just going to save you an enormous amount of headache, mental capital and trading capital. So like here, would I really want to get in the middle of the envelope here? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of tempting, but I'm thinking, well, we're in congestion here, right? So I really want, if I'm gonna get long, I want to get long somewhere down here, right? I don't really want to take a shot in the middle. Could it just go like that? Yeah, it could. Let's see where the 10,000 closes, because that'll give us a clue. But yeah, hopefully so far you can just see that today is already like, it's more a day where probably most people will lose money. I mean, we know that every day is more a day where most people will lose money because we know that 95% plus lose money. So we already know that. But then a day like this makes it even harder. So now I'm just watching, you know, because if we're going to be in congestion here on the 50,000, we may not go back to that low value area. We may just go to the envelope bottom. So I'm hoping for a long down here. But I want to see where these close. Right now on the 50, you've got that DML above you. So you would really want that. below you. Breaking through the extension on the 10,000, trying to. Looks like they want to try and flush it here. I think a lot of these longs are off sides. So I just wait. So, you know, you got a nice pocket here on 50,000. You do have the extension and the congestion. I don't like that core is above me. So I would just be patient. I don't like that it broke, you see. Doesn't mean we won't rip, guys. We could. But you got to trust the levels. And if the extension is breaking on close, right? That's broken on close. Yeah, those held, but this core is above you as resistance. You know, better just to wait. Right? I mean, just look at the 5 minute, guys. There's just not a lot of rhyme or reason here, right? It's not even like it's a clean congestion range. Miyagi, is Trump tweeting? Is there still like a White House press conference or something? I mean, so there's no news today, but with Trump, I guess there's news every day. So now I'd just be watching the value area low here of the day. And look, we got some DMLs stacked right there, extension congestion. So if we get down there, let's see how price reacts to that. So Supreme took PDL going 19,225. Previous dollar. Should I skip non-VolPro? No, do whatever works, man. Whatever. Look, it's just like what Rafa's doing. He's using VolPro to confirm his old strategy, and it's put his results through the roof. So if you can use what we've got here, and you're doing something else, and this just reinforces it, great. Yeah, I'm look, I love VolPro. That's what I use, but other people will figure out other ways to use it. And the only thing I care about is, you know, you guys making money. And me, of course, but so what I'd be looking for now is if we could get down here, that'll be an interesting spot for me. If that starts to really break and these lows break, then I think on the daily, you could be headed back down to the middle of the envelope. You know, we could have a pretty good trend run down if all that breaks. So you see how we're just kind of waiting for the market to come to us, right? It's not the most exciting thing in the world because, you know, we're not scalping in and out and, oh my God, like I just lost 300. Oh God, I lost 400. Oh man, I'm just losing money left and right. This is so much fun. A lot of people like to have a lot of fun losing money. I like to just wait till you get the clarity and then take your shot. And it still doesn't work every time, but it works more often than not. And it really is going to increase your odds to not jump in and out too much. Right now, just look at this going, we're right in the middle of the range. I literally have no idea which way this wants to go. You know, I'm gonna wait till it tells me. So It's just a waiting game. Now, is that it? Are we going to pick up the envelope bottom and push back up here? Maybe. So let's see now if the 10,000 wants to trend reverse up. Just give me a couple minutes, guys. All right, guys, I'm here. Well, I think it's a good first, 45 minutes to just not get chewed up and spit out. So the 10,000 is going to close here momentarily. Are we entering congestion up now to reverse back up? Potentially. So I would say now with the 10,000 entering congestion up, I would be waiting to see if we stay in congestion down here and get an opportunity to buy for a pushback like that. Because now to me, the congestion on the 50,000 is confirmed, congestion action, and we want to go back up here. So Adam, how is it when you have a live support pocket, but the reaction support level is above you? Can you tell me where? You mean like this? If you were to come down here and that's above you out there? Is that what you mean? Below the reaction. Oh, you mean like that? You close there, and then you've got that live. Yeah. To me, I don't really, that wouldn't be, I would wait in that instance for the pocket to close. Yeah, no, I mean, it's the same here, right? So I think in this case, it depends more on the DMLs you've got, the type of trading you've got, you know. So I would say more about the live, like if you're coming down in here and then this starts to drop down here, that's more what you're looking for. What's up, Aaron? Happy Monday, dude. Nice. Need to go vote. Is it election day in Canada? Did I miss that? Oh, wow. Cool. Well, go cast your vote, my man. Christian, are you in Canada too? Voting for guns and less taxes. Yeah, less taxes is always good. Ontario, nice. You're right in the heart of it, right? So it looks like a choppy mess, but if we can get a a buy pattern down here on the 10,000, I'd probably take it. You know, I'll let you know. I will take it if we get a good buy pattern down here. Because I don't like that we're going against that core DML, but you know, we kind of pushed a pretty good ways through it. So I'm willing to bet on congestion cycling from here back down or back up to here. Oh, here comes a tweet. There's a tweet. You guys see that? Like, you'll just see these, like, all of a sudden, like, it's just, you know, when we're in this type of a market regimes, like, you just see, like, a lot of herky-jerky. Like, right here, you're getting, you know, just 20 point, just. So we still got about 4,000 contracts left till this closes. So guys, I'm gonna stay here and see if I put on a trade for you guys. But you know, my best advice for today is, you know, try not to get caught up in this garbage. Because looking at the daily now, I mean, the fact that we failed at those highs, I kind of feel like we want to go back down to the middle of the envelope now. That's my feeling. I'm not feeling good about the bullish side. Not that I wouldn't take that long. Oh yeah. Of course I did, Adam. Everyone has a problem with that when they're finding their way, you know? It's also because, you know, people don't have somebody to, you know, try to help keep them out of that. Even though I had my mentor and, you know, he was good in many respects, um, you know, he wasn't the best teacher. So I kind of had to figure all that stuff out on my own. But maybe that's what made me a better teacher. So I kind of had to go through, figure it all out. But yeah, that's why I want to get you guys on the path of not strategy hopping as quickly as possible, right? But first, you got to kind of understand, you know, VolPro Edge and what you want to, how you want to use it. And guys, it's not like, you know, it's not like there aren't trades to be found in here. Of course there are, depending on how you look at it. I'm just, I can't change, you know, years of conditioning and training for myself. If I don't understand what the daily is doing, I don't trade, right? So I'm trying to, you know, be like, okay, well I could, but it's just the way I work. And lately, the direction on the Nasdaq I've found very hard to read. So it's like, well, I just don't really trade when it's hard to read. So we're gonna get a close here in about 1,000 contracts. if we push up here, depending what happens, I think my preferred side is the short side now that we failed so hard up here at the upper range of congestion. So I'm kind of leaning on the day, you know, if anything, being super choppy, or the day will come out of this live pocket and test down here maybe. That's what I'm feeling right now for you guys who are going to trade the rest of the day. It looks to me like it's going to be very, very choppy. And just overall, you know, not favorable trading conditions. If you want to make money, I mean, so let's see what this does. Guys, right now, we're right at the daily point of control, right in the middle of the range. Anybody's guess? And I will say, when you start to get more confidence and you start making some money, it obviously gets way easier to be patient, right? I understand that. But that's one of the things you got to battle in the beginning when you're getting going. You know, when you kind of you want and you need to make the money, it's obviously way harder to be patient, right, guys? I mean, I understand that. But that's the thing you got to battle against. And that's also too, guys, like when you can see a day like this and you know it's going to be tough. And that's why I said in yesterday's end of day analysis, like that's what, you know, those of you who are in the members area at the Discord and you watch those end of day analysis, like hopefully you can see now, you know, like not just from the analysis videos inside the Discord, but even when I was putting up on YouTube for everybody else before, like you can kind of see most days if I'm like, guys, I don't think you should trade today. I mean, I think if you listen to that, it's gonna way more often help you to avoid bad days rather than like, oh my God, Andy told me not to trade and I would have made so much money today. Like, no, it's, you know. So Adam said, man, when I put in the trade review section, inconsistence, I saw when I stopped taking all the rush trades. Exactly. And that's what I'm trying to really like, not taking the rush trades. And then also like if you guys can feel, especially if you're day trading, like so many days, like today, for example, I'm gonna hang out with you guys a little bit, whatever. But number one, if it was just me, I told you I wouldn't have even traded today. Just like I didn't trade Friday because I'm like, I can see, like, I don't care. I'm not missing anything, right? But then if you do decide, okay, I'm going to watch the first hour just to see what happens, right? And you see it's like this, you know, and you feel yourself start to get, you know, trigger happy, itchy. You're like, okay, well, you know, like the urge is I'm here, I'm standing here, I've got to do something. And that is true. But what you've got to do is sit on your hands. And that's really hard to do when you're staring at every tick. It makes it much harder to sit on your hands. All right. Like trading is just, it's so complex, and it's about putting all these different aspects together. You know, using the end of day analysis, right? getting comfortable applying your own approach to that analysis, but you want to use that as the foundation. I mean, you really do. You know, I've talked to a lot of people, and some people are stubborn, and I understand. I'm like, okay, so you've never taken a payout before, right? Yeah, no, never. Okay, I'm advising you to do this, and this. Okay, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And you've never taken a payout, right? Right. So that's not working, right? But you're going to keep doing it, right? Like, okay, you know, what's the old adage? You can take the horse to water, but can't make it drink. And, you know, we've got guys that came into VolPro Edge never having gotten a payout, and all of a sudden, just after the first month of taking away a lot of the bad trades, being a little more, you know, of course, using VolPro Edge to find good areas and things like that, but just the psychological aspect of just, you know, being more patient, waiting for the right days to execute. And boom, just getting rid of all the losses meant that the winners had a chance to stack up and get to a payout, right? You guys understand what I'm saying? Yeah, good, Ralph. I think it's pretty straightforward. And that's why I gave all the monthlies, you know, the people who signed up for the first month, you know, I gave everybody a free 1 month extension because I'm looking at the markets overall. You know, they've been really tough to trade the last month. And my advice has been don't do a lot of trading, pick your spots. We've done very, very well navigating this, but I don't want people to, you know, feel like they have to be in a rush and, you know, the next payment is due. It's like, no, this month has been tough for most people. So, you know, thanks for being here. Kick around for another month. Let's see what the next month brings us. I mean, look at this. Guys, look at this 5 minute. I mean, come on. Like patience begets patience, begets more discipline. And then when you when you know that you can start to make a few grand a month being patient, you get more motivation, you know, to be patient, to be disciplined, to follow your plan. Because every time you don't follow it, it hurts. Right? Like how many times have you guys just traded when you knew you shouldn't, and then you just get into that cycle, start revenge trading, all that stuff. It's painful, right? So eventually you go through enough pain, you're like, fuck, I can't do this to myself anymore. And then you start to relax into it. But that's a process. So guys, I'm gonna kick around with you a little more, but if the first 100,000, no, the first 150,000 contracts of the New York session, if this thing closes here in the middle again, you know, my best advice to you is going to be don't trade, you know, wait till the end of day analysis. Let's see what's shaping up. Let's let these markets come to us, right? And I know that that's not exciting. Look, I'm sure Patrick has had some great bull flags and bear flags today. And guys, I'm not grumpy. I'm very, very happy. I just know, like, you know, I know what it takes to get you guys to where I want you to be, and I'm very passionate about that. So we're gonna get this closed in about 9,000 contracts. Let's just see what's going on. In the meanwhile, do you guys have any questions about what's happening on Nasdaq, what's happening on gold, any other markets you want me to look at? Yeah, exactly, Ralph. And it's a marathon, right? Like imagine a race where you got to go run, let's say you got to get out and run 50 miles, right? Let's say you like doing a whatever a double marathon is, 52 miles, something like that, right? You're like, okay, I got to get through this 52 miles. And then like the gun goes off, the starting gun, and you're just fucking sprinting. Like that's what most people are doing. Like you're not going to make it those 52 miles. And it's okay to look at these markets, guys, sometimes and just look at it and be like, you know what? I don't I this thing could go up, could go down. I really don't know. And I really only want to trade when I've got a strong probability of it doing what I think it's going to do. Even then it's going to be, 60, 65%. So right now I'm interested in looking at the extension congestion right near the value area low. Let's see if we get down there. If we see any signs of support. That wouldn't be a terrible spot to put on a long. Sure, we could just barrel straight down and through there, but we also could stay in congestion and fire back up to the other side of the range, right? So that wouldn't have a bad risk to reward. Although my bias now, like I said, is I think we're probably going to try to crack these lows, and then we'll just have to see if it's able to. And if it's able to crack the lows, then there could be some good shorting on the way down in the middle of the daily envelope. But if these lows hold, that's kind of the make or break point. So this 50,000 is going to close here in about 2,000 contracts. Yeah, exactly, Ralph. It's easy to fall into it when people are learning, definitely. And I would say until somebody is consistently profitable for at least 6 months in a row, then consider yourself still learning. And I'm still learning. We're all still learning. And I think that's also like got to be real. Everyone needs to be very realistic about where they are. I see a lot of delusion in the trading world. There's a lot of people who, you know, think they're a lot better than they are. And I think being humble is a really important personality trait to be a successful trader. So Christian posted in the chat some lighter news. Dallas Fed. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of not a lot going on in the news front today. So now you have conflicting signals. We're just stuck in the middle here. First 150,000 contracts. I wouldn't be surprised to see this 50,000 want to push down here into these DMLs. But I said conflicting because the 50,000 there looks kind of bearish to me. Well, of course, I wouldn't do anything because we're right in the middle of the envelope. We're right in the middle of the daily range. But conflicting because you see the 10,000 sucked up above all its support. Yeah, but this to me looks more like it wants to head down. So you got the lower time period looking like it wants to go up, and the higher time period to me looking like it wants to go down. That's it's kind of anybody's guess. All right, guys, I'd love to stick around and trade with you, but I got to stick to my, what I know to be true. And what I know to be true is that I expected this kind of day. It's been this kind of day, and I think it's going to continue to be this kind of day. So I'm just not in a rush to do anything. And I hope that you feel from me, I hope that I'm passing on some of this to you guys that it's okay not to trade today because this is, for me, it's not conducive. Now, somebody like Rafa, he's down on the 5 minute chart or whatever. He's using his EMAs and the DML. Great. But for me, this is not what I want to sit around and trade. So I'm going to wait till the end of day analysis, see if we get any clarity with the patterns. And I'm just waiting for the clarity to come. It's going to come. And if I see any good end of day patterns tonight, where I'm going to put on like a short overnight swing trade, then you guys will obviously, know, because I'll tell you, I'll be very explicit in my analysis. And then we'll be back at the Nasdaq tomorrow morning, and at some point, this is all going to clear up. But we just have to wait for it to do that. So let me know if you guys have any questions here before we say goodbye. Just give it a few minutes. And if I miss any questions here, you can always put the questions in the Discord. Are you guys all good? Thanks, guys. Yeah, I would use this time. Class, they're good, Jacob. Nice. Yeah, I forgot to mention I'm long feeder cattle. Just kidding. So yeah, guys, I would use today to maybe study and think about your own trading plans and talk about different things in the chat. I would just be careful today. It's not like a day. It's not a good day to put risk on. So that's my guidance to you guys. So that's it. All right, I'll be here with the end of day analysis, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Looking forward to streaming every morning this week, and we'll get some trades on the Nasdaq, but it's just gonna have to shape up, right? So, all right, sleep well, D. See you guys. Post questions in the Discord. Got any questions? And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the end of day analysis. Okay, take care, you guys. Give a like out the door. I always forget to ask. Please give a like out the door. It helps. I appreciate it. See you guys.